Over the past decade, Tasmania's popularity as a holiday destination has boomed. More and more tourists have been heading out of Hobart on Rob Pennicott's island cruises.
They absolutely come for probably the scenery first of all and hopeful of animals, but the scenery is so beautiful, so world class. Beautiful waves coming through, you could almost surf that one, I reckon.
But 2020 brought business to a sudden halt. Tasmania was the first state to shut its borders against coronavirus, leaving Rob Pennicott's boats idle.
We went from an incredibly thriving business to the 23rd of March is when we closed down, and we closed for nearly 4 months.
It's been almost a year since Tasmania's last case of community transmission. Even though the border closure cost him dearly, Rob Pennicott backs the state government's response.
I actually really support the way the state government handled the COVID situation, which was cautious, and to close longer to make sure when we did open it minimised the chance of a relapse.
Tasmania's Premier Peter Gutwin has called an early election, hoping to turn that popular support for tough COVID measures into a third straight term for his Liberal government.
Who do you want sitting in the Premier's chair when the next big challenge comes?
I think a snap election suits the government because it can capitalise on having really dealt well with the COVID situation, and the Premier's stocks are very high from that.
But it hasn't all been smooth sailing for the Liberals.
Here we are at the Burnie Clay Target Club, where we're shooting straight for majority government. Well,
former Mining Minister Adam Brooks left Parliament in 2019. His campaign to win back his former seat and return to Parliament has hit a snag. Police allege he breached the Firearms Act by incorrectly storing ammunition. Accusations Mr Brooks says he will vigorously defend.
Well, look, I believe in the rule of law, and I think you're innocent until proven guilty. And in terms of that matter, we'll allow that to take its course through the courts.
No. Those pears look all right. I might have one of those myself. Did you like yours?
Labor leader Rebecca White is also facing problems within her own ranks. The party's powerful state president, Ben McGregor, was forced to step down as a candidate over lewd text messages he sent to a woman in a group chat 6 years ago.
This appears for all intent as a smear campaign to hurt me and my nomination.
Mr McGregor says the messages were sent in jest and he apologised at the time. He's threatening to sue Rebecca White for suggesting he's not fit to stand for Parliament.
There's been extensively canvassed in the media, and I spoke very candidly at the time about that matter, and there really isn't anything further I need to add.
But the infighting isn't captivating voters.
We don't talk politics when we play balls.
For Jack Braden, the focus is on the game.
Come on, get up. I do give a vote, but that's about it. I try not to get involved because I get depressed.
One issue is playing on Terry O'Connor's mind.
The Pokies is one, and I think it's going to be a divisive sort of an issue. There's a lot of people strongly against Pokies, and equally a lot of people strongly in favour of Pokies in this area.
In 2018, Labor campaigned hard on a platform of scrapping pokies from pubs and clubs. This time, they're treading carefully and have signed an agreement with the State Hospitality Association supporting poker machines in pubs and clubs, a complete turnaround from 2018.
Ultimately, we lost that election, and I think people can also see that gaming played a big part in that election. You can't keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result.
Last election, the Hospitality and Hotels Associations donated $270,000 to the Liberals, while the state's casino operator, Federal Group, donated $50,000. Money the Labor Party didn't see.
There was probably a lot of pressure within the party to turn the tap back on, and that may well have led to the backflip. And, you know, we don't know that for sure, but it certainly looks that way.
Not at all. I mean, that shouldn't be a consideration for any political party about what kind of policy that they put forward at whichever election it is they're standing for.
One of the Liberals' biggest donors, Federal Group, has had a monopoly on gaming in the state for decades. That deal is set to end in 2023. In exchange, Federal Group wants a cut to taxes on its pokies in casinos. The Liberals aren't saying what that tax rate will be.
In terms of the legislation, when that's available, that will be released publicly, and people will be able to see the tax rates across all of the various revenue lines.
This is a very important question that the Premier should have the guts to answer before he goes to the polls on the 1st of May, because it's not his money. No, it's not his money. It belongs to the people of Tasmania.
In previous elections, the vast majority of political donations in Tasmania have remained secret because only those over about $14,000 needed to be disclosed. The Liberals promised to change those rules, but 3 years after the last election, they remain unchanged. Instead, the two major parties say they're voluntarily disclosing donations over $5,000 during this campaign.
Well, this election will be the most transparent election that's ever been held in Tasmania in terms of the lower house.
These corporations, they aren't making these donations because they're feeling generous. They're making them because they believe it's in their own self-interest.
Political analyst Kate Crowley believes the Liberals are on track to hold government, but Tasmania's proportional representation system makes a big margin unlikely.
I don't mean a landslide. I mean they may have get their majority of one back.
In Hobart's northern suburbs, only one Green is front of mind.
I would like to see more of the politicians helping out the bowls clubs. Instead of throwing money away, they should help the small clubs.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 7:30's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.